From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. A Fort Yukon man has pled not guilty to sexually abusing a 2-year-old girl.
52-year-old Levi Guinness appeared for his arraignment in front of Judge Bethany Harbison on Tuesday. According to court documents, the Fort Yukon police chief received a phone call from the victim's mother late on the night of January 18th. She said that her daughter had been sexually abused by Guinness. When the chief investigated the scene, the victim's mother said she had awoken to find Guinness fondling the child. Guinness was arrested but denies having any sexual contact with the victim.
A 28-year-old Huslia man pled not guilty for 2 sexual assaults at the Fairbanks Superior Courthouse on Tuesday. Zachariah Vent was charged with sexual abuse of a minor under the age of 15 and sexual assault 2, which is sex with a person known to be incapacitated. According to court documents, the offense allegedly took place on the 17th of January. Vent's next court date is with Judge Blankenship in March.
Representatives from BP Alaska painted a picture of the ideal landscape needed to move their liquefied natural gas projects forward in the state. The discussion at the Alliance Luncheon focused on the effects that international LNG players could have on the production in their last frontier. BP Alaska Director of LNG Business Development, Damian Bilboa, says the natural gas resource has been developed in similar or worse price environments, speaking in reference to the low cost of oil. Bilboa says growth in China is expected and that country will be dependent on as a consumer of the state's excess product. The energy company representative laid out 3 factors critical to Alaska LNG success. Bilboa says a low cost of supply, party agreement, and reputation are critical to locking in contracts with foreign partners. The BP rep adds the company's current multi-party business agreement is already viewed favorably by many countries.
We had one buyer refer to it as the dream team. They love the idea of 3 big companies that have done LNG projects around the world with the host government all at the table, all working on issues, making sure that everyone wins together and everyone loses together. Because if you win and lose together, then you will be motivated to capture opportunities together and fix problems together.
The number of jobs taken by non-residents is continuing a 5-year growth trend, prompting concern by the Alaska Department of Labor and Workforce Development. The department released a report that shows the state's non-resident hire rate is more than 20%, and workers under the same classification took home around $2.6 billion in wages for 2014. The increase in pay for out-of-state hires grew by just under 5%, while residents saw an increase closer to 3.5%. Alaska workers drew around 200 fewer new jobs than their counterparts. The oil and construction industries were highlighted as groups which relied on non-residential new hires more than other sectors. Department Commissioner Heidi Dragas says the issue extends beyond seasonality.
There are some seasonal employment sectors, fishing, seafood processing, that lend itself more to this transient workforce. But we also see increases in oil and gas and mining and in construction that, well, construction is more seasonal, but there's a lot of winter construction work as well. It's not simply seasonality that is causing this growth in non-resident hire.
When we come back, with the Yukon Quest kicking off this weekend, one musher met with kids today to educate them on the proper handling. We'll tell you who.
Also in our weekly military report, veterans will have a chance tomorrow to have some of their questions answered. Stay with us. Welcome back. A Yukon Quest dog mushing contestant visited hundreds of students at Ladd Elementary School yesterday. Hugh Neff is often known as the dog musher equivalent of the Cat in the Hat by many of his peers and fans. Neff brought 2 of his dogs, Amigo and George, to visit the children at the school. Apart from his career as a dog musher, Neff also speaks to children at several locations around the world about his success here in Alaska. Neff told the children at Ladd about how he started his dream of dog mushing in 1995. Neff is preparing for the Yukon Quest, set to begin this weekend here in Fairbanks. Despite winning the quest 4 years ago, Neff says captivating the hearts of kids is his #1 priority.
You got to give back in some way. If you're just doing this for your dream and it's all about you and what you want to do, then what's the point of it? So you have to take any blessings you've had in life. And so I talk to over 100 schools a year, not only in the U.S. but all around the world. And I really try to use the energy of the kids for their love of the dogs. When I'm out on the trail and I'm feeling a little tired or not feeling like I'm in a very competitive mood, I just say, hey, there's a lot of people counting on the Cat in the Hat, and I've got to show them where it's at. So I definitely, I'm a kid at heart, getting older. This is my 27,000-mile race I've done since 2000, so I do both of the big ones every year. And I got to find a way to keep that youthful energy.
The second annual Love Inc. Agape Dinner is happening this weekend. Love Inc., or Love in the Name of Christ, is a nonprofit organization comprised of thousands of people in Fairbanks who come together to take care of the needy. They work with local congregations and organizations by serving as a catch-all and screening service for needy people in Fairbanks. Someone in need could be directed to Love Inc., and then Love Inc. would screen them to ensure they don't double up on services. Once the person is approved, Love Inc. connects them with the charity or volunteer that can help. Love Inc. is throwing a dinner party on Friday at 6 p.m., which will include a silent auction, dancing, and food. Jason Kemphorn, the organization's director, will be at the dinner introducing some of the people Love Inc. is able to help. One of those people is Ray, who is given rides to his doctor's appointments.
And we've got a couple of great speakers. One is going to be a guy named Ray. Ray's going to talk about how he's utilized the transportation program. We offer free door-to-door transportation for anybody who is in need of it. For Ray, we bring him to and from doctor's appointments, and he just can't afford the cab fare 3-4 times a week. And so utilizing our volunteers, he's been able to go to his appointments that he normally skips and starting to get into a healthier situation.
Representatives from the Veterans Administration will hold a listening session tomorrow here in Fairbanks. Monty Bowen has details now in this week's Military Report.
Veterans, their family members, and others with concerns about the system that serves retired military are urged to take part in the event. It runs from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at City Hall at 800 Cushman Street.
It's designed for veterans to come and to remove that middleman talking to the director, the interim director, Dr. Linda L. Boyle. Tell her how things are going, if it's going good, if it's going bad, some suggestions, or even if they have some particular problems.
People from other agencies that provide services to veterans will also be available.
Hopefully for the people that are there, we may be able to fix them on the spot, as well as we'll have reach back for VBA, the benefit side here in Anchorage. Well, I can call, put them with the veteran, and possibly get some solutions of some whereabouts or a claim or a bill or any of those things.
One major issue with veterans has been dealing with the Veterans Choice Program.
We actually have our Choice Champion. One of the young ladies that's at the tip of the spear as far as the choice program here, Miss Cindy Massey, she will be on the ground with us. And definitely when choice questions come up, she'll definitely be able to answer those questions as well as bring those questions back to the staff that's embedded here now at the Anchorage VA.
Again, the session is at Fairbanks City Hall at 800 Cushman Street starting at 5 p.m. tomorrow, February 4th. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Kendall Auto of Fairbanks.
Joe Cook is up next with sports and takes us to North Pole High School for a historic moment on signing day.
Also, we get you caught up on this week's UAF and Ice Dogs matchups. All that and more with Joe after the break. Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here to get you over the hump with the local Wednesday Sportscast. The Alaskananic basketball teams will need to channel their inner Mad Maxes and Furiosas this week. They'll need to turn into road warriors with some fury. The men's squad starts a 4-game road trip at the GNAC's basement team in Simon Fraser tomorrow. Then they face Western Washington on Saturday. The Vikings and Nooks are tied for 4th place in the conference. And for the Nanic women, they packed a couple of brooms for their road trip, hopefully, to stop a 2-game skid. They can get season sweeps on Thursday at Western Oregon and at Concordia on Saturday. Fairbanks Ice Dogs finished a nice 7-game homestand with a 6-1 record. Now they go on the road. Fairbanks starts their 4-game road trip in Janesville, Wisconsin. The Jets have had the Ice Dogs number. The Ice Dogs are 0-4 against the Jets this year, but 3 of those 4 losses were decided by 1 goal. However, the Ice Dogs have the top line and top 3 scorers in the league, and Reggie Lutz was named NAHL Forward of the Month. Lutz scored 12 times with 8 assists and was +8 in January. Defenseman Jacob Streisberg is the Midwest Star of the Week with 4 points, 3 goals, and a helper as the Dogs swept the Brown Bears this past weekend.
Fairbanks has a 21-point lead in the Midwest Division over Janesville, who sits in 3rd place. It's National Signing Day for college football, but at North Pole High School, they had a signing for real football, and it was historic. Senior left midfielder and striker Lindsey Damel signed a national letter of intent to play soccer for the University of Minnesota Crookston Golden Eagles. UMC is a Division II program in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference. Damel becomes the first soccer player in program history to go Division II. She intends to major in health science. Damel is a 2-time All-MAC selection and scored 6 goals with 5 assists last year for the Patriots. She talks about her decision to be a part of an improving Golden Eagle team.
UMC was the first school that really wanted me to come in for an official visit, and they flew me down, and when I went, I really liked the school. It's a small campus, and then when I graduate, I'll be getting a degree from the actual University of Minnesota.
So we've really worked a lot with Lindsay trying to get her to where she can play striker, she can play right mid, and get her to understand the reasons behind those positions. So I think that that's helped her quite a bit in where she can move on and be able to fit into a D2 program.
I feel like I can really contribute because they didn't really have any offense, and that's like my specialty, I guess you could say. Like, I'm a very offensive player, so I feel like I'll really be able to help contribute.
And also today, the latest rankings in the High School Basketball Alaska Association of Basketball Coaches poll were released. A few interior teams are still in the top 5. No local boys teams are in the 4A boys ranks, but K-High is number 1. In 4A girls, Lathrop makes it in at number 4 as West Valley drops out of last week's poll. And in 3A boys, in their top 5, the defending state champion Barrow Whalers are still number 1, followed by your Monroe Rams at number 2. The Barrow girls lead the 3A girls rankings, but the Hutchinson Hawks are ranked 4th, followed by Sitka, who won it all last year. And with those latest rankings, it'll be a big week for 4A girls basketball teams. Today is the start of the Diamond Lady Lynx Prep Shootout Tournament in Anchorage. The top 5 ranked teams, along with number 4 Lathrop, Malamute, and West Valley Wolfpack are in this tournament, which is arguably just as important as the state tournament coming up in March. The tourney has play-in games today to set the gold and maroon bracket. 16 teams are in the tournament. And this afternoon, the Wolfpack went up against Thunder Mountain in their first game. West Valley won 50-27. Ruthie Hebert scored a game-high 18 points, and Amber Smith added 10 points. Lathrop plays Chugiak later tonight. This week is when high school hockey teams enter a new season. They get a chance to punch their tickets to the state tournament with regional tournaments coming up this week. In the MAC Conference, number 1 seed West Valley will play number 4 Lathrop at 5 o'clock on Friday. Juneau and North Pole, they will battle in a 2 versus 3 matchup at 7:15 p.m. The winners of those games will clinch state berths. The MAC title game is Saturday at 7:15. All MAC games are at the Patty Center. And in the Greatland Conference, undefeated Monroe and Delta have first-round byes. Now Thursday at 3 o'clock, Hutchinson, they will take on Glen Allen at the Carlson Center, while Houston and Tri-Valley will duel at the Big Dipper. The Rams will play the Hutch-Glen Allen winner at 7 o'clock at the Carlson Center, and Delta will play the Tri-Valley Houston winner at the Polar Ice Center at 8 p.m. in North Pole. The Greatland title games at 7:45 on Friday night at the Dipper. The conference champ and Saturday's consolation bracket winner will face off for the state title next weekend. The state tournament starts Thursday, February 11th at the Curtis Menard Sports Complex in Wasilla. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is up next after the break with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into Wednesday Night Weather. Mike Schultz with you once again, and it was another beautiful day across the interior. Lots of sunshine, clouds moving in toward the sunset. We're looking at those clouds possibly even bringing a few flakes of snow and maybe a few flurries. That's about it. We'll be talking about that. As you can see, gusty breezes are also in the forecast tonight. In the higher elevations, winds can be gusting as high as 30 miles an hour. Once again, like I said, some flurries are possible later on. And yes, again, you guessed it, we've got more air quality problems, as you can see here. In fact, our air quality alert is good through Thursday, I should say, at 5 p.m. And the Fairbanks is once again stage 1, moderate conditions, with North Pole at stage 3, unhealthy. And keep that in mind for folks with respiratory problems and young folks too. On our satellite and radar, you can see everything's starting to move a little further to the north now. That's bringing more weather across southeast Alaska and across the Prince William Sound area, while the clouds, mainly just mid-level clouds, are starting to move up. Some of this may squeeze out a few flakes of snow. What's going on across the rest of the state? Well, as you can see over southeast Alaska, it is raining again at Ketchikan, 38 degrees there, 35 at Juneau, with some rain moving into that area. Some showers around the Anchorage Bowl, 28 degrees. Also showers at Kodiak, 38. And showers along the Aleutian Chain, 36 at Cold Bay. Now on the west side of the state, it's cool and for the most part just partly cloudy at Nome and Bethel, with Barrow at 1 degree below zero. Fort Yukon warming up considerably from yesterday. Amazing what clouds can do for you. Their temperature is 0 degrees for the high today. Over the lower 48, over the west coast, a new system moving in, bringing some more rain across the Pacific Northwest into northern California. That's where it stops. And the system that was over the central and southern plains yesterday is now just kind of mainly a strong frontal boundary moving up and down the eastern seaboard, bringing with it some very heavy rain for many areas of the southeast. And the overall outlook is calling for this front to move very slowly, which means it'll bring a big flood risk to the southeast, from Charlotte right on down into the Atlanta, Georgia area, and then right on down to Tampa Bay. Now the overall jet stream is going to change from what it was yesterday, so a little more opportunity for some storms to develop. As you can see, one jet stream diving way down to the south and then moving out again to the east and then diving right again back down to the south. So got to keep an eye on that for possible storms developing. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. All this week we're talking with the kids from University Park Elementary School. Tonight here's a young man with a very interesting question about lightning.
Hi, my name is Van. I'm in Miss Ross' third grade classroom at U Park Elementary School. Here is my question for the weatherman. Why isn't there lightning in the winter?
Van, you can have lightning in the wintertime. Obviously, it's when two different air masses clash. We have what's called thunder snow, which is really cool when you have snow falling, and then there's also a thunderstorm going on at the same time. And just the main idea of the air masses not getting along with each other, the hot and the cold, will create some thunderstorms too. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for serving us and for 50 years, and also for sponsoring our kids' weather. And tomorrow night, the teacher will be here with a very unique weather fact. You'll want to catch that. Here's our forecast for the northern sections for tomorrow. Mostly clear skies for Barrow, and isolated snow showers possible in both Nome and Fort Yukon. The same can be said for the interior. As you can see, temperatures rising to 20 degrees at Haley, but again, cloudy skies and a few flurries or isolated snow showers are in the forecast. Over southeast Alaska, just the opposite. Lots of rain in the Juneau area, and heavy rain and winds expected for Ketchikan. 46 degrees at Ketchikan. Over the southwest part of the state, looking at rainy skies in Cold Bay and Kodiak, with mostly cloudy skies for Bethel. And down in the south central sections around the Anchorage Bowl, mixed showers for Anchorage, a chance of some more snow in the Valdez area, and scattered rain showers for Homer, and temperatures 42 degrees at Homer. And right now at the airport, we're looking at temperatures once again. Our high today 2 degrees, the low last night 16 below, the record high 39 in 1941, but down to 58 below in 1947. Sunrise and sunset 7 hours and 9 minutes of beautiful daylight. That's a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. And our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy early, then more clouds and even a possibility of a few flurries here and there. Not nearly as cold as it was last night, 4 degrees below zero. Tomorrow's forecast warming up even better, 14 degrees for the high, with morning flurries and again those breezes in the hills. And the extended forecast, as you can see here, temperatures really warming up nicely by the first part of next week. 20 degrees for Monday and Tuesday. Overnight lows will also continue above zero for this time of year. Really warm by Monday night, and very nice weather. No precipitation except Friday. And our picture for tonight, this one's sent in by Colleen Redmond behind the Carlson Center. What a gorgeous shot that is. Again, photos at ktvf11.com if you have one you want to share with us.
Is that where those ducks hang out all winter?
I think, well, that and down by the Pegger Road area.
Are they still there?
They're there.
20 below.
Over winter, and they're still here. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, KTVF is having another Watch and Win contest running every night during the Fbx Evening News and, of course, News Center Final.
That's right, Daryl. It's your chance to win 400 gallons of heating fuel from Alaska Fuel Services.
Wow. Just look for the Alaska Fuel Services truck sometime during one of the newscasts.
Then go to our website at webcenter11.com, find the contest section, and enter for your chance to win.
Okay, that will wrap up this edition of the Fbx Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight at NBC Nightly News, a mid-air explosion today over Somalia blew a hole in a passenger jet. What caused it? That's up next with Lester Holt.
Be sure and join J.R. Lewis tomorrow morning during the Today Show for more news updates.
And from all of us at the News Center, have a good night.
Good night.